Greetings from the lovely Darlat. I had a couple of DMs and emails sent to me saying, look, what happened with that Centrelink aged pension kerfuffle that was going on? And I realised, no, you probably don't know the outcome of that. Well, it's an interesting outcome. It took me many days of trying to get onto the Centrelink phone line. Not because getting onto the Centrelink phone line wasn't easy. That's a piece of cake. But getting someone to answer that, to get through from, the above average number of calls we're receiving at the moment, that was harder. And that took me nearly a week to finally get through to someone. And I got through and they said, oh yeah, it's already been approved. You've got, unconditional, be anywhere in the world that you like and we'll send you your pension. And I said, are you sure about that? And they said, oh yeah. I said, well, what about the aged pension thing when, in a few months' time when I turn 67? I said, not a problem, just stay on your DSP. But your website doesn't say that. Your website says that at the end of my 66 years of age, I've got to transfer over to the age pension. Oh, no, just stay on your DSP. You can stay on that for life and be anywhere in the world and we'll send you your pension. So, so immediately I said, okay, is this call being recorded? And they said, yes, good. And I said, can I just get this confirmed by someone else? Because I've been through to hell and back with this and the stress of it. And they said, yeah, sure, I'll put you through to the team that deals with the intricacies of this whole thing. But yeah, okay. So I waited for another 2 minutes, got put through to someone who couldn't understand why the person that I spoke to wasn't able to convince me that this is indeed the case. And he confirmed that, yes, indeed, I'm on I've got portability, which means I can be anywhere in the world and still receive my pension. And that I don't have to roll over onto the aged pension in a few months' time. And the only things I won't get in my DSP are things like, the energy relief, a few dollars, or little tidbits to do with Australia. But my base pension, which is only about $40 less than what I would normally get were I to be living in Australia, still paid. And I don't have to come back to join the age pension or apply for the age pension. And I don't have to then stay in Australia for 2 years before I can get portability. No, I had it confirmed by 2 people, and it's on my notes that I've got full portability as I am now. And can I be happier? I don't think so. All right. So that's to answer that one. Okay, next, pace of life. Now, the challenge here is that I've come from a Western society which is a hustle society, and I've been in business for myself for years and years and years, and so you've got to hustle all the time, and I'm not very good at hustling. And the pace of life here is infinitely slower. I mean, it's just like you can feel in the air that you need to slow down a bit. The nature is telling you, whoa, son, back up a bit. And so I am. And so I'm not hustling like I used to hustle. I'm still going to be coming off Facebook and all the Meta products, because more and more I'm developing a relationship or set of relationships through Substack, through my writing on Substack. So I'll get to the other bit in a second. So, yes, I am still going to be coming off all the Meta products, because even though it's, completely useless trying to avoid the Meta products in Vietnam. I mean, Meta just about owns Vietnam in terms of its social online structure. Anyway, long story, you know my views on this. But so, yeah, this whole hustle culture that I've come from to a culture that doesn't hustle so much, still hustles, but not so much. It meant that at the moment, language schools are like begging for teachers to teach the Vietnamese English. And I just, of the many, many adverts that I'm sent, please help, please help. I replied to one and said, yeah, look, this is my background. This is what I've done. And yeah, okay. So then they contacted me again and said, well, that's great. Would you be willing to come out and help us? And I'm thinking, oh yeah, it's probably, the rumors are that language schools pay quite poorly. And so I said, well, what sort of, money are we talking about? What sort of you're going to pay me? Rate you're going to pay me? And they said, well, we'll pay you between 350,000 or 400,000 dong an hour. Now, 400,000 dong an hour is $23 Australian. Not, you would think, enough to be that worried. But that's an hour. Say $23 an hour Australian. I know someone here in a supervisory position in Dalat who earns $500,000 a day. So $400,000 an hour is that's okay. 1 hour, and that's paid for a good meal. In fact, a good meal for two. The rest is just, and so we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm going there this weekend and doing some teaching English to Vietnamese students of anywhere between 6 years of age and 17 years of age. And we'll see what happens. If it turns out well, and they're paying for my transport because it's about 3/4 of an hour drive away. They're paying for my transport. They're paying for my accommodation in a hotel there. If it turns out well, then, let it continue. But that's the no hustle approach, which seems to, certainly prima facie, it seems to have worked. Okay, one last thing that I wanted to briefly mention is the weather here, and do I regret moving to Dalat from Australia? To answer the second question first, no. To answer the first question, it's cold and damp at night, as this photo shows. But during the day, it's lovely. Now, you might ask, oh, that photo makes it look a bit cold and misty. Well, it is cold and misty, but the cold is about 18 degrees Celsius. And the heat during the day, when the clouds have been burnt away, 24 degrees Celsius. So it's not exactly, breaking my body as Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi would have. I can understand why there are European expats and American expats and Australian expats here who've been here for decades, because this place is just, there's something magical about it. And I'm just delighted that I'm here. It's a wonderful place to be. Anyway, I think Dalat, if I had to come up with a phrase or something that sums up here, I'd say it was Dalat, beautiful one day, perfect the next. Hey, that's not bad, I might have to use that someday. All right, until next time, toodle pips, take care, and see you soon. Okay, bye.